The morning continues to unfold in a slow and gentle way. The light grows a little brighter, though it never feels harsh. It spreads quietly across the land, touching each roof, each path, each field with a soft and patient warmth. In the distance, a thin layer of mist still lingers close to the ground. It moves slowly, almost like it is breathing, rising and settling, fading as the sun climbs higher into the sky. The villagers do not pay much attention to it. They have seen this many times before. It is simply part of the morning. In the fields, the work has already begun. A man walks behind a wooden plow, guiding it through the soil. The tool is simple, shaped by hand, worn smooth from years of use. It does not move quickly. The earth resists at first, firm and heavy from the night's coolness, but with steady pressure, the blade cuts through, slowly, line by line. The soil turns over, revealing darker layers beneath. There is a soft, steady sound, the quiet scraping of wood and metal against earth. It repeats again and again. There is no hurry in the motion, only rhythm. Nearby, another worker scatters seeds. His hand moves in a gentle arc, again and again. The seeds fall lightly, almost silently, disappearing into the soil below. There is a quiet trust in this action, a belief that, with time, something will grow, that the land will respond as it always has, not quickly, not all at once, but slowly, steadily, in its own time. Further along the field, a woman kneels beside a row of young plants. She moves carefully, pulling away small weeds that have begun to grow. Her fingers work close to the soil. The earth is cool and slightly damp. Each movement is precise, quiet, unrushed. She does not look far ahead. Her focus stays close on the small space in front of her, one plant at a time, one small task after another. Back in the village, the paths remain gently active. A cart rolls slowly over the uneven ground. Its wooden wheels creak softly with each turn. The sound is steady, familiar. Inside the cart are simple goods, bundles of firewood, a sack of grain, perhaps a few tools. Nothing extra, nothing wasted. Everything has its purpose. A dog follows closely behind, its steps light and quiet. It pauses now and then, sniffing the ground, then continues without urgency. The animals here move in the same slow rhythm as the people. There is no rush in their behavior, no sudden movement, only calm, steady motion. Near one of the homes, an older man sits on a low wooden bench. He is not working in the fields today. His hands rest in his lap, though they still carry the memory of many years of labor. The skin is rough, the lines deep. He watches the village as it moves through the morning. His gaze is calm. There is no impatience in him, only a quiet awareness. He has seen many mornings like this, and in each one the same gentle patterns repeat. Inside another home, a woman prepares the midday meal. The fire in the hearth burns low but steady. A pot rests above it, its contents warming slowly. She stirs it from time to time, not rushing the process. The smell begins to fill the room, soft, simple, comforting. There are no strong spices, no complex mixtures, just basic ingredients brought together with care. A child sits nearby watching the movement of the spoon in the pot. Their eyes follow each slow circle. There is something calming in the repetition, the gentle motion, the quiet sound of the liquid shifting inside. The child does not speak. There is no need. The moment is full, just as it is. As the sun continues its slow climb, the warmth becomes more noticeable. Not overwhelming, just enough to soften the air. The dew that rested on the grass in the early morning begins to disappear. The ground dries slightly. The colors of the land become clearer. Greens deepen. Browns grow richer. Everything feels more defined, yet still peaceful. Time passes in a quiet, almost unnoticeable way. There are no bells marking each hour, no clear divisions between one part of the day and the next, only subtle changes, the position of the sun, the feeling of the air, the slow shift of light across the fields. These are the markers of time here, gentle, unspoken, understood without effort. In the fields, the work continues. The movements remain steady, repetitive, calm. There is a kind of comfort in doing the same action again and again. The body knows what to do. The mind does not need to wander far. Everything stays close to the present moment, each step, each motion, each breath. A light breeze begins to move across the land. It touches the tops of the crops, causing them to sway slightly. A soft, whispering sound rises from the fields. It is quiet, barely there, but constant, like a gentle voice that never fully speaks. The workers pause now and then, not for long, just enough to stretch their backs, to look out across the land. Their eyes move slowly over the fields, the village, the distant trees. There is no need to hurry back to work. They return when they are ready, and when they do, the rhythm continues just as before. Back near the well, a few villagers gather again. They speak in low voices, simple conversations, about the weather, about the crops, about small things that fill the day. There is no tension in their words, no urgency, just a steady exchange of thoughts, as calm as the air around them. The village remains held in this quiet balance, not still, but never busy, moving, but never rushing, alive, but always peaceful. And as the day slowly moves forward, without sharp edges or sudden changes, the gentle rhythm of life in the village continues, unchanged, unbroken, and quietly enduring.
The day moves forward without anyone needing to notice it. There is no clear moment when morning becomes midday. It simply happens, quietly, as the light settles more directly above the village. The shadows beneath the trees grow shorter. The warmth of the sun rests more fully on the open fields, and the air, though still gentle, feels a little heavier now, holding the soft warmth of the day. In the fields, the workers begin to slow their movements just slightly, not because the work is finished, it never truly is, but because the body naturally adjusts to the rhythm of the sun. Hands pause for a moment longer. Steps become a little more measured. Breathing deepens. A man straightens his back and looks up toward the sky. The blue above him is wide and steady. There are no sudden changes there, only a quiet, endless space that seems to stretch without limit. He wipes his brow with the back of his hand, then lets his arms rest at his sides. For a few moments, he simply stands, listening, feeling, being. Nearby, others begin to gather small bundles of food they brought from home, simple meals wrapped in cloth, bread that has grown slightly firm over the hours, a bit of cheese, perhaps some dried vegetables. They sit together, though not too close, each person keeping a comfortable space, yet still sharing the moment. They eat slowly. There is no rush to finish. Each bite is taken with quiet attention. The texture, the taste, familiar and steady. Food here is not about variety. It is about nourishment, about continuing the day. Some speak in low voices. Others remain silent. Neither feels unusual. Silence is not empty here. It is full in its own quiet way. A soft breeze passes again, moving gently across the land. It carries with it the faint scent of soil, of grass, of distant wood smoke. The kind of scent that does not demand attention, but if noticed, it lingers softly in the mind. After some time, the meal ends. Cloths are folded. Small pieces of food are saved for later. Nothing is wasted. Everything has value. The workers return to their tasks, not with energy or force, but with the same steady rhythm as before. The plow continues its slow path through the earth. Seeds continue to fall in quiet arcs. Hands continue to move through soil and leaves. Back in the village, the midday quiet deepens now. Many who remain at home move more slowly now. The warmth of the sun encourages stillness. Doors are left slightly open to allow the air to pass through. Inside, the light enters in soft shapes, falling gently across the floors and walls. An older woman sits near a doorway, her hands busy with a simple task. She mends a piece of cloth. The needle moves in and out, again and again, each stitch small, careful, even. Her eyes follow the thread closely. There is no distraction, only the quiet focus of the moment. Nearby, a child rests in the shade of a tree. The ground beneath them is soft with grass. They lie on their back, looking upward through the branches. Leaves shift gently in the breeze, creating patterns of light and shadow. The child watches these patterns without thinking, without needing to understand, just observing as time passes softly around them. A chicken moves slowly across the yard nearby. It pecks at the ground now and then, searching for something small. Its movements are unhurried, like everything else in this place. The village holds this stillness for a while, a quiet pause in the middle of the day, not planned, not spoken, but shared. In the distance, the fields continue their steady work. The quiet sounds drift back toward the village, the faint scrape of tools, the soft shifting of soil, the low murmur of voices carried by the wind, all of it blending into a gentle, constant background. The sun begins, almost unnoticeably, to shift again. Its position changes slowly, drawing the light into longer shapes. The day begins its gradual movement toward evening, but there is no clear moment when this change begins. It simply unfolds, just like everything else. A man walks back along the narrow path toward the village. His pace is slow, measured. His steps follow the same worn lines in the ground that have been walked many times before. He carries little with him, only his tools, only what is needed. As he enters the village, the quiet greets him again, the same calm presence, the same gentle rhythm. Nothing feels different, and yet the day has moved forward. Smoke rises once more from a few homes. Fires are being prepared again. The evening meal will come in time, but there is no rush toward it. A few villagers sit together outside, speaking softly. Their voices remain low, their words simple. There is comfort in the repetition of familiar conversations.
the same topics returning again and again like the turning of the seasons. The light softens further, the warmth begins to ease, the air grows a little cooler, though still gentle. The long shadows stretch across the ground, touching the edges of homes and paths. Children begin to move again, their quiet energy returning as the heat fades. They walk along the paths, they watch the animals. They stay close to the village, never far, always within the calm safety of what they know. The day does not end suddenly. It never does. Instead, it slowly loosens its hold, allowing the evening to arrive in its own quiet way. And as the village continues its steady rhythm, unchanged, unhurried, and softly enduring, the light fades just a little more.
The evening settles in so gently that no one can point to the exact moment it begins. The light simply softens. The brightness of the day fades into a warm, golden tone that rests quietly over the village. The long shadows stretch even further now, reaching across the paths, the gardens, and the open spaces between homes. Everything feels a little slower, a little quieter. In the fields, the work begins to come to an end, not because it is fully finished, it never truly is, but because the light is changing and the body understands when it is time to return. Tools are lifted from the earth, soil falls gently from their edges, hands brush away the dust, movements remain calm, nothing is rushed. A man places his tool over his shoulder and begins the walk back toward the village. His steps follow the same familiar path. The ground beneath his feet feels known. Each turn, each small rise in the land, remembered without thought. Others follow at a distance, not in a group, but in a quiet line, each person moving at their own steady pace. There is no need to walk together closely. The presence of others nearby is enough. The fields slowly empty. Left behind are the long rows of turned soil, the newly planted seeds, the quiet signs of work that will continue in the days to come. The land rests now, just as the people do, waiting for tomorrow. As the villagers return, the sounds of the evening begin to gather. A door opens, another closes. Footsteps move along the narrow paths. Wood creaks softly. Voices rise gently, then fade again, all of it blending into a soft and steady rhythm. Smoke lifts into the air from many homes now, thin streams at first, then slightly thicker as the fires grow stronger. The smell of cooking spreads slowly through the village, warm, familiar, comforting. Inside one home, a fire glows steadily in the hearth. The flames move slowly, casting a soft, flickering light across the walls. Shadows shift gently, never sharp, never sudden. A pot hangs above the fire, its contents moving with a quiet simmer. The sound is soft, a low, steady bubbling. A woman stirs the pot with calm, even movements. She does not hurry. There is no need. The meal will be ready when it is ready. Nearby, a child sits close to the warmth of the fire. Their eyes follow the movement of the flames, the rise and fall of light, the gentle dance of orange and gold. It is easy to watch, easy to become still. Outside, the air cools little by little. The warmth of the day fades into a soft evening chill. Not uncomfortable, just enough to be noticed. A few villagers gather near the center of the village. They stand or sit close to one another, speaking in low, quiet voices. The conversations are simple. They move slowly, without urgency. There are pauses between words, moments where no one speaks, and yet no one feels the need to fill the silence. An older man speaks for a while, his voice calm and even. Others listen, not with intensity, but with quiet attention. His words are not new, they are familiar. Stories told before, memories repeated over time, but there is comfort in hearing them again.
The sky above begins to change. The soft blue fades into deeper tones. Hints of orange and pink rest briefly along the horizon before slowly disappearing. The first stars begin to appear, faint at first, then clearer. One by one, they settle into place, steady, unmoving, watching over the quiet village below. The animals also begin to settle. Chickens move toward their resting places. A dog curls itself into a comfortable spot near a doorway. The small sounds of movement grow fewer. The village prepares, slowly, for rest. Inside the homes, the evening meal is shared. Simple food, served without ceremony. Each person eats quietly. The warmth of the fire fills the room. The soft glow of light keeps the darkness just beyond the walls. There is no rush to finish, no need to move on to something else. This moment is enough. Just sitting together, eating, resting. After the meal, movements slow even further. Some clean the few tools and dishes, others simply sit, leaning back slightly, letting the day fade from their bodies. The fire burns lower now, its light softer, its warmth more gentle. Outside, the village grows quieter with each passing moment. Voices fade, doors close, footsteps disappear. The night begins to take its place, not suddenly, but slowly, like a soft blanket settling over everything. The sky deepens into darkness, the stars grow brighter, the air becomes still. Inside the homes, people prepare for sleep. Blankets are adjusted, spaces are made ready. There are no long routines, only simple familiar actions repeated each night. One by one, they lie down. The sounds of movement become softer, then still. Breathing slows, even, calm. The fire fades into a quiet glow, then into embers, then into a faint warmth. And once again, the village rests, just as it did the night before, and the night before that, unchanged, unhurried, at peace within its own quiet rhythm. Far above, the stars remain steady, the same sky that has watched over countless nights like this, the same quiet presence holding the world in stillness. And in that stillness, with the soft air, the fading warmth, and the gentle silence, the village sleeps.
The night deepens slowly. There is no sudden darkness, no sharp ending to the day, only a gradual softening as the last traces of light disappear completely from the sky. The village rests beneath a wide, quiet blanket of night. The stars above remain steady. They do not flicker or move quickly. They simply stay, distant and calm, like quiet watchers. The moon, if present, casts a faint silver light across the land. It touches the rooftops gently. It rests along the narrow paths. It outlines the shape of the fields in soft, pale tones. Nothing is hurried. Nothing changes quickly. Even time itself feels slower here. Inside the homes, the air is still. The warmth from the earlier fires lingers faintly, held within the walls of wood and earth. People sleep close together, their breathing soft and even. There is a quiet rhythm to it, rising and falling, steady and calm. Occasionally, someone turns slightly in their sleep. A blanket shifts. A wooden frame creaks softly. Then stillness returns. Outside, the sounds of the night are gentle. An insect moves through the grass, creating a faint rustling sound. A distant animal calls once, then falls silent again. The wind passes lightly over the fields, brushing against the crops with a soft whisper. These sounds do not disturb the village. They belong to the night. They are part of its quiet presence. Time passes, though it is not counted. There are no clocks, no measured hours, only the slow movement of the sky and the deepening stillness of rest. Eventually, the night reaches its quietest point, a moment where everything feels completely at ease, completely still, as if the world itself is resting. Then, without anyone noticing, it begins again. Far at the edge of the sky, a very faint light begins to return, not enough to see clearly, just enough to soften the darkness. The stars slowly begin to fade, one by one, without drawing attention. The air shifts slightly, still cool, but carrying a hint of change. Inside the homes, nothing moves yet. Sleep remains deep. The calm continues. Then, as before, a rooster calls, softly at first, then again, a little stronger. A familiar sound, a quiet signal that the night is ending. A man opens his eyes, not suddenly, not fully, just enough to notice the change in light. He remains still for a moment, listening, feeling the cool air, hearing the distant, gentle sounds of the waking world. He sits up slowly, careful not to disturb the others. His feet touch the ground. The earth is cool again, just as it was the morning before.
Nothing feels different, and yet a new day has begun. He moves toward the hearth. The ashes rest quietly, holding the last memory of warmth. He kneels just as he did before. His hands repeat the same actions, stirring, adding small pieces of dry material, breathing gently. A small glow returns, then a flame, soft, flickering, alive once more. This simple act begins the day again, not with noise, not with urgency, but with quiet continuity. Others begin to wake, slowly, one at a time, each movement familiar, each action repeated from countless days before. A woman adjusts a blanket. A child turns and blinks softly. Someone stretches their arms gently, easing into the morning. No one rushes. There is no reason to. The day will unfold as it always does, in its own time. Outside, the early light spreads again across the village. The same paths, the same homes, the same fields waiting beyond. A thin mist lingers once more near the ground. Soft, almost weightless, it drifts slowly as the light grows. The well stands quietly at the center. The buckets rest nearby. Soon they will be lifted again. Soon the gentle creak of rope will return. A door opens, then another. Footsteps begin again along the paths, light, unhurried. The cycle continues, not as something new, but as something steady, something known. In the fields, the earth waits, just as it did yesterday, just as it will tomorrow. Hands will return to the soil. Tools will move through the ground. Seeds will be placed carefully, again and again. And within this repetition, there is a quiet kind of peace, a rhythm that does not demand change, a life that moves forward without needing to be different. The villagers do not think of this as routine. They do not name it. They simply live within it. Each day blending gently into the next, each night resting softly before the next morning arrives. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. Everything unfolds just as it always has. And as the light grows stronger once more, and the village slowly fills with the soft sounds of another beginning, the calm rhythm of life continues, unbroken,
unchanged, enduring quietly through time. The morning grows a little fuller now. The soft gray light of early dawn has slowly turned into a gentle gold. It rests across the village like a quiet layer of warmth. Nothing feels sharp. Nothing feels bright in a harsh way. Everything remains soft, as if the light itself is careful not to disturb the calm. Inside the homes, the day settles into its familiar rhythm once more. The fire in the hearth has grown steady again. It no longer flickers weakly. Now it holds a quiet strength, giving off a low, constant warmth. The sound it makes is soft, a faint crackle, barely noticeable unless one listens closely. A woman kneads dough on a wooden surface. Her hands press forward, then fold back, again and again. The movement is slow, even, and practiced. There is no need to look closely at what she is doing. Her hands remember. They move with quiet confidence. The dough changes shape under her touch, soft at first, then slowly becoming firmer, more together, more ready. A small amount of flour lifts into the air with each motion. It settles gently onto the surface, onto her hands, onto the quiet space around her. Nearby, a child watches. Their eyes follow each movement, not with curiosity alone, but with a quiet kind of learning. No instructions are given, no words are needed. This is how knowledge moves here, through watching, through doing, through time. Outside, the village path begins to feel more alive, not busy, never busy, but gently active. People move along it with purpose, yet without haste. Each step placed carefully on the uneven ground, each movement part of a rhythm that feels natural and unforced. A man carries a bundle of wood across his shoulder. The pieces are tied together loosely with rope. They shift slightly as he walks, making a soft, dry sound. He adjusts them once, then continues. Another villager passes by, carrying a small basket. Inside are a few vegetables, simple, freshly gathered. Their colors are soft and natural. Nothing polished, nothing perfect, just real, just enough. They nod to each other as they pass, a small acknowledgement, no long conversation, just a quiet understanding. Near the edge of the village, a narrow stream moves slowly through the land. The water is clear, shallow, and steady. It makes a soft, continuous sound as it flows over small stones, not loud, not demanding, just present. A woman kneels beside the stream, washing a piece of cloth. She dips it into the water, lifts it, then presses it gently between her hands. The motion repeats, slowly, calmly. The water drips back into the stream in small, quiet drops. The surface of the water shifts slightly with each movement. Small circles spread outward, then disappear. She does not rush. There is no pile of work waiting urgently behind her. Only this one task, this one moment. Further away, the fields continue their steady work. The same quiet sounds rise again, tools meeting earth, soft footsteps moving through rows, the low murmur of voices carried lightly by the air. Clouds drift slowly across the sky. They are thin, light, moving without direction, without urgency. They pass over the sun from time to time, softening the light even more, creating brief moments of shade that feel cool and gentle. The villagers notice these changes, but do not react strongly to them. They adjust without thinking, without speaking. It is simply part of the day. As time moves forward, the warmth increases just a little. not enough to cause discomfort, just enough to make movement slow slightly, to make each breath feel a bit deeper. Inside one home, bread is placed near the fire. The surface begins to change slowly, from soft dough to something more firm, more complete. The smell begins to grow, warm, earthy, comforting. It spreads quietly through the space. The child who watched earlier now sits closer, drawn by the scent, their eyes half-focused, relaxed. There is no impatience. They know the bread will be ready when it is ready. In another part of the village, an older woman arranges dried herbs. She places them carefully, one beside another, each leaf thin and fragile, each movement gentle, as if every smallest force might break them. These herbs will be used later, for food, for simple remedies, for quiet needs that arise over time. Nothing is wasted. Everything is saved with care. The day continues in this steady way. No sudden changes, no loud interruptions, just a continuous flow of small actions, one after another, each one simple, each one necessary. The sun moves slowly across the sky, its path unhurried, its light constant. And as it does, the village remains held within its calm rhythm, a rhythm that does not depend on time as we know it, but on something softer, something deeper, something that repeats without effort. The sound of the stream continues, the movement of hands continues, the quiet footsteps along the path continue. Everything remains connected, each part flowing into the next, without break, without pause. And as the day gently stretches forward, the same peaceful pattern carries on, unchanged, unforced, endlessly calm.
The day, which began so softly, now rests in its fullest form. The light has reached its highest place in the sky. It no longer stretches long across the earth, but falls more directly, more evenly, touching everything with a quiet balance. The warmth is steady now, not heavy, not sharp, just present, like a gentle hand resting over the land. The village continues its calm movement. Nothing feels different, and yet the day has deepened. There is a sense that time has passed, even though no one has measured it, only felt it. In the fields, the work continues, though with slower motions now. The bodies that moved easily in the cool of the morning now move with more care, each step placed a little more deliberately, each breath drawn a little deeper. A man pauses again, this time longer than before. He sets his tool down beside him. The earth beneath his feet is warm now, holding the heat of the sun. He looks out across the fields, his eyes soft, unfocused, not searching, not thinking deeply, just resting in the view. The land stretches outward in quiet lines, rows of crops, some newly planted, some already growing, each at a different stage, each moving forward in its own time. This is how life is understood here, not all at once, not in sudden changes, but in slow, steady growth, almost too slow to notice until time has already passed. A light breeze moves again, though it is softer now. It carries warmth instead of coolness. It brushes against the skin gently, then disappears. The sky above remains wide and open. The clouds that drifted earlier have thinned even more, leaving behind a pale blue that feels endless, still, calm. Back in the village, the midday quiet returns again, not as still as before, but softer than the morning. A natural slowing, a gentle pause within the day. Some villagers rest inside their homes, away from the direct light. They sit or lie down for a short while, eyes half closed, bodies easing into stillness. There is no deep sleep here, just a moment of quiet,
a moment where nothing is required, nothing is expected. A faint sound of wind passes through the narrow spaces between homes. It creates a soft, hollow tone, almost like a distant whisper. It fades quickly, leaving the silence untouched. Near the stream, the water continues its endless movement, unchanged by the heat of the day, still clear, still steady, still speaking in its quiet voice over stone and sand. A child dips their fingers into the water, slowly, watching the ripples spread outward, circles within circles, growing wider, then fading. There is something calming in watching this, something that asks for nothing and gives nothing except the moment itself. Time continues to pass, always gently, always without force. And slowly, almost without notice, the season itself begins to shift. Not in a single day, not in a sudden way, but over many days, many mornings, many quiet evenings. The warmth of the sun begins to change. At first, it is barely noticeable, just a slight difference in the air, a softness that feels a little less warm than before. The breeze carries a different feeling now, a hint of something cooler, something lighter. The leaves on the trees begin to respond. Very slowly, their color shifts just a little, not enough to stand out, but enough to be felt. The villagers do not speak of this change. They do not mark it on any calendar. They simply live within it. They feel it without needing to name it. The work in the fields begins to reflect the season as well. Some crops grow taller, others begin to slow. Some are ready to be gathered, others are just beginning. Hands move differently now, not planting as often, but preparing to collect, to gather what has been growing quietly over time. There is a calm understanding in this, a quiet sense of completion mixed with the knowledge that the cycle will begin again. Back in the village, small changes appear. Extra bundles of gathered plants rest near the homes. Grains are laid out carefully, left to dry under the soft light. People move around them with care, avoiding disturbance, respecting the slow process. The evenings begin to arrive a little earlier now. The light softens sooner. The shadows stretch longer, faster. And with this change, the rhythm of the village shifts just slightly. Not enough to feel new, just enough to feel different. Fires are lit a little earlier. Meals are prepared with the same calm attention, but within a slightly cooler air. At night, the blankets are pulled a little closer. The warmth of the hearth is appreciated a little more. The stars return again and again, unchanged, steady, watching over each quiet night as they always have. And within all these small changes, the life of the village continues, never rushing, never resisting, only moving, slowly, with the rhythm of the land. A rhythm that flows through the days, through the seasons, through the quiet, steady passing of time.
The change does not arrive all at once. It never does. Instead, it comes quietly, in small signs that are easy to miss. A slightly cooler morning, a breeze that lingers a little longer on the skin, a sky that feels heavier even when it is still clear. The villagers continue their work, just as before, but something in the air begins to shift. Something soft, something patient, something waiting. The clouds begin to gather more often now, not thick at first, just thin layers drifting slowly across the sky. They soften the sunlight, turning it from warm gold into a pale, quiet gray. The light feels different, more distant, less present. One morning, the wind carries a new scent, faint but clear, the smell of moisture, of earth preparing to receive something.
The first drops of rain do not fall suddenly. They arrive slowly, one, then another, soft against the ground, barely making a sound. A villager pauses, looking upward, not with surprise, but with recognition. This too is part of the rhythm. The rain begins gently, a thin curtain of water falling evenly across the fields and rooftops. The sound is soft, like a quiet whisper covering everything. The thatched roofs absorb much of it, holding the water for a moment before letting it slip downward. Small drops fall from the edges, one after another, forming a slow, steady pattern. The ground begins to darken. Dry soil softens. Paths become slightly damp beneath each step. People move without rushing. Some continue their work in the light rain. Others return slowly to their homes. No one runs. There is no urgency. Inside, the sound of rain becomes clearer. It taps softly against the roof, a steady, calming rhythm, unchanging, continuous. A fire is lit again, even though the day has not yet ended, not for warmth alone, but for comfort. The soft crackle of wood joins the gentle tapping of rain, two quiet sounds blending together. A woman sits near the hearth mending cloth once more. Her movements remain slow, careful. The dimmer light does not disturb her rhythm. Outside, the rain continues, not heavy, not strong, just constant. The stream near the village begins to swell slightly. Its movement becomes a little faster. The soft sound grows fuller, deeper, though still calm. Children stand near the edge of doorways watching the rain. They do not run into it. They simply observe the way it falls, the way it changes the ground, the way it softens everything it touches. Over time, the rain becomes part of the day, just as the sun was, just as the wind always is. Days pass like this, clouds arriving more often, rain returning again and again, sometimes lighter, sometimes a little stronger, but never harsh, never violent. The paths in the village change. What was once dry and firm becomes soft, slightly uneven. Footsteps leave gentle marks behind. Wheels of carts press deeper into the earth, creating quiet grooves. Movement becomes slower, more careful, each step placed with attention. In the fields, the soil grows rich with moisture, darker, heavier, full of life. Plants respond in their own quiet way. Some grow stronger, their leaves fuller, deeper in color. Others bend slightly under the weight of water, moving gently with each passing breeze. Work continues, though it changes with the season. Less planting now, more tending, more watching, more waiting. Inside the homes, the days feel longer, not in time, but in feeling. The softer light, the steady rain, the quiet air all create a sense of stillness. People spend more time indoors, sitting near the fire, working with their hands, repairing, preparing. The sound of rain becomes familiar, so constant that it fades into the background, no longer noticed directly, but always present. At night, the rain continues, tapping gently against the roofs, flowing softly along the ground. The air cools further. The warmth of the fire becomes more important now. People sit closer to it, drawn by its steady heat. Blankets are pulled tighter, wrapped more carefully. The wind begins to change as well, carrying a sharper edge, a cooler breath that moves through the small spaces between walls and doors. The villagers do not resist these changes. They do not try to control them. They simply adjust, as they always have. The rhythm of life remains unbroken, only slightly altered, like a familiar song played in a softer tone. And as the days continue to pass, with rain falling gently, with the earth holding its quiet moisture, with the air growing cooler, the village moves slowly toward another season, one that brings deeper stillness, deeper quiet, and a different kind of calm.
The rain does not stop all at once. It slowly becomes lighter, softer, less frequent, until one day it is no longer there. The clouds begin to thin. The sky opens again, but it does not return to the same warmth as before. Something has changed, something quieter, cooler, more still. The air feels different now. It carries a gentle chill that lingers, even when the sun is present. Not sharp, not biting, just a soft coolness that rests against the skin. In the early mornings, a light mist forms more often. It sits low across the ground, covering the fields in a thin, pale layer. The village looks softer through it, less defined, almost like a quiet memory. Footsteps move through this mist slowly. Figures appear and disappear as they walk along the narrow paths. Nothing feels rushed. Everything feels slightly muted. The earth, once soft with rain, begins to settle again. But it does not return to dryness. Instead, it holds a quiet firmness, cool beneath the feet, steady. The trees begin to change more noticeably now. Their leaves, once full and deep in color, start to fade. Not all at once, one by one, each leaf letting go slowly, drifting downward without sound. They gather on the ground, forming a soft layer over the paths, the gardens, the open spaces, a natural covering, light beneath each step. The villagers walk over them gently. The faint sound of leaves shifting beneath their feet is soft, almost like a whisper. The days grow shorter. The light fades earlier than before. Even though the sun still rises in its quiet way, it does not stay as long. Work in the fields changes once more. There is less growing now, more gathering, more preparing. People move through the fields, collecting what remains. Their hands careful, their movements slow. There is no sense of urgency, only a quiet understanding that the season is turning. Back in the village, more time is spent indoors. The homes hold a deeper stillness now. The fires burn longer, more steadily. The sound of crackling wood becomes a constant presence, soft, warm, comforting. Inside, people sit closer together, not from need alone, but from habit, from a shared quietness that comes with the season. A woman wraps a thicker cloth around her shoulders. The fabric is worn but strong. It holds warmth close to the body. A child sits near the fire, their hands extended toward the gentle heat. The glow of the flames reflects softly in their eyes. There is no movement for a while, just stillness, just warmth. Outside, the wind moves more often now. It is not strong, but it carries a cooler breath. It passes between the homes, brushing against the wooden walls with a soft, hollow sound. The sky, especially in the evenings, deepens quickly.
The colors fade sooner. The darkness arrives without hurry, but earlier than before. The stars appear again, clear, steady, more noticeable in the longer nights. The village grows quieter sooner as well. Evening meals happen earlier. Fires are lit before the last light disappears. After eating, there is little movement. People remain where they are, sitting, resting, letting the warmth of the fire settle into their bodies. There are no long activities, no loud gatherings, just quiet presence, shared space. The nights feel longer now, not in discomfort, but in stillness, in depth. Sleep comes easily. The cool air, the soft warmth of blankets, the fading glow of the fire, all come together in a gentle way. Outside, the mist sometimes returns in the night, thicker than before, covering the village in a soft, silent layer. The world feels smaller within it, closer, more enclosed. Sound does not travel far. Everything remains contained, quiet. And in this quiet, the village rests, deeply. Days continue like this, cool mornings, shorter light, longer evenings. Each one blending into the next, without sharp edges, without sudden change. The villagers move with this rhythm naturally. They do not resist the stillness. They become part of it. And as the season continues to turn, the air grows just a little colder, the mornings just a little quieter, the nights just a little longer, all leading slowly, gently, toward the deepest part of the year.
The cold does not arrive suddenly. It settles in, little by little, until one day it feels like it has always been there. The air grows thinner, sharper, but still quiet, still gentle in its own way. In the early morning, the ground carries a light frost, a thin, pale layer resting over the soil, the leaves, the rooftops. It glows softly in the first light of day. Not bright, not harsh, just a quiet shimmer. When footsteps move across it, there is a faint sound, soft, crisp, almost like a gentle breaking. Then it fades again into silence. The village wakes more slowly now. The warmth of blankets holds people a little longer. The air inside the homes is cooler in the early hours. The fires from the night before have almost faded completely. A man opens his eyes, just as he has done every day. But this time he remains still for a moment longer, feeling the cold air around him, listening to the deeper quiet of the morning. He rises slowly, his movements careful, unhurried. His breath is faintly visible in the cool air, a soft cloud that appears, then disappears. He moves to the hearth. The ashes are colder now, darker. The memory of warmth feels more distant. He kneels, repeating the same gentle actions, adding dry straw, small pieces of wood, breathing softly into the center. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, a faint glow returns, very small, very quiet. He waits, patient, still. The glow grows slowly, turning into a soft flame, then another. The fire returns just as it always does, not quickly, not easily, but steadily. The warmth begins to spread again through the room, slow at first, then more noticeable. Others begin to wake. They move closer to the fire without speaking, drawn by its quiet heat. A woman wraps herself more tightly in a thick cloth. She sits near the hearth, her hands resting close to the warmth. Her fingers slowly regain feeling. A child leans gently against her side, still half asleep, eyes barely open. The morning outside remains still. The mist is thicker now. The frost has not yet melted. The earth feels firm and cold beneath each step. Fewer people go out early. The fields are quieter, covered in a pale layer that softens every shape. Work continues, but it is different now. There is less to do in the open land, more to prepare, more to maintain. Inside the homes, the day is spent in quiet tasks, repairing tools, mending clothing, organizing what has been gathered over the seasons. Hands remain busy, but movements are slower, more deliberate. The fire becomes the center of everything, its presence steady, its warmth constant, its light soft and calming. People sit around it for long periods, not speaking much, not needing to. The crackling of wood fills the silence, a soft, repeating sound that never feels empty. Outside, the wind moves more clearly now. It brushes against the open fields without resistance, carrying the cold with it. It brushes against the walls of the homes, finding small spaces to pass through, a quiet reminder of the world beyond. The sky remains pale during the day, often covered with thin clouds that soften the light even further. The sun appears, but it feels distant. Its warmth does not reach the ground in the same way. As the day moves forward, the light fades earlier once again. The evenings arrive quickly, bringing longer stretches of darkness. Fires are lit before the light is gone, prepared early, maintained carefully. Meals are warm, simple, comforting, eaten slowly. Afterward, people remain close to the hearth, leaning slightly toward its warmth, letting the day settle into stillness. Outside, the village grows silent even earlier than before. Footsteps become rare. Doors remain closed. The night deepens cooler, quieter, more still than any time before. The stars appear again, bright against the dark sky, unmoving, calm. The mist returns, thicker in the cold night, covering everything in a soft, quiet layer. Inside, the warmth of the fire slowly fades as people prepare for sleep. Blankets are pulled close, bodies settle into rest. Breathing becomes slow, even, peaceful. The fire turns to embers, then to a faint glow, then to stillness. And the village rests once more, held within the deep quiet of winter. Days pass like this, slow, steady, almost unchanged. Each one blending softly into the next, without urgency, without noise. And within this deep stillness, life continues, quietly, gently, endlessly. The deep cold of winter does not vanish suddenly. It slowly loosens its hold. The frost becomes thinner. The ice along the stream edges softens, melting quietly in the subtle warmth of the returning sun. The mornings remain cool, but not bitter. The chill lingers in the air, resting lightly on the rooftops, on the bare branches, on the paths. The villagers begin to notice small changes, not dramatic ones, not sudden, just little signs that spring is quietly arriving. A thin green shoots from the edge of a field. A tiny bud appears on a branch, holding itself carefully against the lingering cold. The stream flows more freely now. The water moves faster over stones that were once frozen. Its sound is faintly louder, a soft, continuous murmur through the village. Inside, fires still burn. Their warmth is still needed in the cool mornings and evenings, but the sun now lingers a little longer. Its light touches the rooms softly, warming them slowly. People move with slightly more energy. The cold is not as heavy. Hands do not stiffen as easily. Bodies stretch more naturally. The wind carries a faint scent of earth and growth, moist soil, damp leaves, the faint perfume of life returning to the land. Children walk outside earlier than before. They run a little more freely, their steps pressing softly into thawing paths. In the fields, preparations begin once more. Tools that were carefully stored away during winter are brought out. The earth, still soft in some places, is gently tended. Seeds are gathered and counted. The villagers work slowly, their movements deliberate, not hurried. Everything is measured against the calm pace of the season. The first rain of early spring falls softly, not heavy, not insistent, just enough to wet the soil, to encourage new life, to murmur across rooftops and paths. It soaks into the fields gently, sinking quietly into the earth. The sound of water on leaves is calming, soft, reassuring, part of the rhythm of the land. As the days pass, the light grows brighter, longer. The shadows shorten. The warmth slowly increases, not harshly, not suddenly, just enough to remind everyone that a new cycle is beginning. Inside the homes, the fires burn less urgently. The hearth is still a center of warmth, but the light from the sun eases the need for it. Meals are prepared with renewed attention to the earth's bounty. Fresh greens, tender shoots, the first small vegetables from the fields, their colors soft, gentle, understated. The village feels quieter and yet more alive, not busy, not hurried, but attentive to the small changes that spring brings. The trees begin to hold buds, branches stretch upward as if to greet the light. A soft wind moves through them, rustling the smallest leaves that have begun to unfurl. Animals begin to stir more noticeably, birds returning, moving through the branches, calling softly. Small creatures scurrying quietly along the edges of the village, alert but calm. The rhythm of life returns to something soft, steady, and continuous. Days lengthen, but their pace remains unhurried. Evenings feel different now. The air is cool, but not cold. The stars appear later, softer in the fading light of longer days. People sit by the hearth, just as before, but now with a quiet awareness of the returning warmth outside. Hands rest, eyes close, and the body absorbs the gentle comfort of the season. The daily life rhythm continues, steady, calm, unbroken. And through it all, the village remains. Soft paths, steady streams, homes that hold warmth and life, people moving slowly, gently, deliberately. The world outside begins to green, to warm, to stir once again. But within the village, the rhythm of calm, slow life persists, a rhythm that carries quietly from winter into spring. Spring arrives quietly, not suddenly, not loud. It creeps gently into the village, into the fields, into the very air. The mornings now carry warmth that is soft and forgiving, not harsh, not strong, just enough to lift the chill from the night. The frost has disappeared completely. The ground feels soft beneath each step. The first green begins to show everywhere, tiny shoots peeking through the earth, tender buds appearing along the trees. The villagers notice these changes, but they do not rush. They move slowly, carefully, observing without urgency. In the fields, work begins in earnest once again. Hands that were idle during the winter now return to the soil. Tools are lifted gently, without hurry. The earth is soft, welcoming, holding the promise of new life. Small seeds are planted, one by one, carefully pressed into the earth, covered softly with soil. Water from early rains moistens the ground. It trickles slowly into every small hollow, soaks evenly into the soil, a quiet song of life moving gently. The sun now rises higher in the sky. Its warmth stretches across the village in long, soft beams, touching rooftops, fields, paths. Inside the homes, people move with calm purpose. Fires burn steadily in the mornings, giving gentle warmth. Meals are prepared quietly with simple care. Bread, vegetables, herbs, nothing more. Children move outside more freely now, their laughter soft, muffled by distance, their steps pressing gently into the softened earth. Near the stream, water flows with ease, its movement steady, quietly persistent. The sound is familiar, calm, reassuring. Animals respond to the season as well. Birds flit softly among the trees, their calls muted but cheerful. Small creatures move along the edges of the village, alert but calm. The village itself seems to breathe more easily. The air feels lighter, the light brighter. The rhythm of daily life continues unhurried, steady. Evenings arrive gradually. The sun dips slowly behind distant hills. The air cools gently. Shadows stretch longer across the fields. People gather near the hearth once more. Hands rest. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb warmth. The fire crackles softly, a calm counterpoint to the faint rustling of leaves outside. The stars appear late now, shining quietly in the lengthening twilight. The sky is soft. The village is calm. The night wraps itself gently around the homes and fields. As days pass, the green grows stronger. Leaves unfurl more fully. Flowers begin to bloom quietly along the edges of paths and near homes. The air carries faint fragrances, soft, light, not overwhelming. The villagers continue their routines, planting, tending, gathering, repairing, preparing, observing, each movement slow, each action deliberate. The rhythm of life here feels eternal, one day blending into the next, one season flowing into the next, the cycle repeating without hurry, without strain. The sound of water, wind, and animals become part of the calm, a soft background hum that blends seamlessly with the quiet human presence. At night, blankets are pulled close. The hearth glows gently. The world outside is soft, dark, and safe. Breathing slows. The rhythm of life continues quietly inside the hearts of the villagers and throughout the soft, sleepy village.
The days grow longer now. The sun rises earlier and its light lingers later into the evening. Its warmth is gentle, not harsh, not demanding, just enough to touch the skin softly, to fill the spaces between the trees, to warm the rooftops and paths. The green of the fields is richer. Leaves have unfurled fully on the trees. Tender shoots have become strong stems. The grass bends slightly under the soft breeze. The villagers move through their days with calm purpose. Hands work steadily. Feet follow well-worn paths, each movement deliberate, gentle, careful. The rivers and streams flow steadily. Water moves around stones and roots with a soft murmur. It is constant, predictable, calming. Birds fill the air with quiet sounds, not loud, not insistent, just soft calls carried by the breeze. They move from tree to tree, branch to branch, always graceful, always calm. The first small fruits appear along bushes, their colors muted but warm. Small rewards of patient work, small reminders of the slow passage of time. Inside the homes, fires burn less urgently. Sunlight warms the rooms more fully. Meals are prepared with gentle care. Vegetables, grains, and herbs gathered from the land and tended carefully over the weeks fill baskets and bowls. Children play softly along the edges of the village, their movements slower than the storms of winter, gentler than the bursts of spring. Steps pressing lightly into the softened soil, fingers brushing against tall grass, eyes noticing small details, a flower, a stone, a moving insect. The villagers walk slowly through the fields. They tend crops, repair tools, check the fences. No rush, no loud commands, just quiet attention to small, necessary tasks. The wind carries scents of growth, soft, earthy fragrances of soil and leaves, the faint perfume of newly blossomed flowers, all calm, all gentle, all steady. Evenings arrive with a long, gentle transition. The sun lowers slowly, painting the sky in muted golds and soft pinks. The shadows stretch along the paths, the fields, the homes. Fires are lit inside the homes as the air cools. The warmth gathers the family near, creating a quiet, shared space. Hands rest, eyes close briefly. The body absorbs the calm of the season. The river continues to move, soft, steady, constant. The breeze passes through leaves and grasses. Birds settle into nests for the night. The village itself feels alive, yet serene. Work continues, movements continue, but everything carries a softness, a rhythm, a continuity. Night deepens slowly. The stars appear, gentle and steady. The air cools further, but not sharply. The fire's glow reaches across the room, a soft companion to the quiet outside. Blankets are drawn closer. Hands settle. Breathing slows. Sleep approaches naturally, gently, quietly. And as the villagers rest, the day ends softly. The rhythm of life continues, steady, calm, unbroken. The next day will follow with the same slow patterns. The sun will rise, the rivers will flow, the wind will move softly, the work will continue, all within the gentle, enduring rhythm of the village. The summer days arrive fully. The sun rises high and stays long in the sky. Its warmth touches everything softly, not harsh, not sudden,
just a steady, gentle heat that rests over the fields, the rooftops, the paths. The fields are alive with green. Tall grasses sway in the soft breeze. Crops stand firm in rows, moving slightly with each gust of wind. The rivers and streams flow steadily, glimmering in the sun. Children sometimes dip their hands into the water. They move slowly, enjoying the coolness against their skin. Ripples spread outward, circles within circles, fading gently. Birds move among the trees, calling softly. Insects hum quietly along flowers and grasses. Their presence calm, part of the continuous rhythm of the village. Villagers walk through the fields slowly, tending crops, checking fences, repairing tools. Their movements deliberate, measured. No hurry, no strain, just the quiet work of life. Inside the homes, fires burn only when needed. The sun warms the rooms during the day. Meals are prepared simply, carefully. Fresh vegetables, herbs, and grains gathered from the fields fill bowls. Evenings arrive gradually. The sun lowers, painting the sky in soft golds and gentle pinks. The air cools slightly, carrying a quiet softness. People gather near fires if needed, or simply sit near open doors, feeling the warmth of fading sunlight. They rest. They breathe slowly. They absorb the calm of the long, steady day. Animals move quietly. Birds settle in trees. Small creatures move softly along paths and hedges. Everything gentle, everything measured. The rivers continue their slow, steady flow, water passing over stones and roots with quiet persistence. The sound is constant, calming, predictable. Children play softly along riverbanks and shaded paths, steps pressing lightly into the soft earth, hands touching grasses, flowers, small stones, eyes noticing the quiet details. As night approaches, the sky darkens gradually. The stars appear, steady, soft, familiar. The air cools. The village settles. People move more slowly. Tasks are finished. Tools set aside. Food eaten. Bodies absorbing the calm, gentle rhythm of the day. Blankets are pulled close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The world outside continues its soft, steady rhythm. Rivers flowing, wind moving through trees, insects and birds in their soft evening songs. And the village rests, steady, calm, continuous, unbroken. Each day blends into the next. Summer continues, long and slow. Each sunrise and sunset, part of a quiet, enduring rhythm. The villagers move within this rhythm naturally, their lives gentle, their work measured, their presence calm. And within this steady, warm season, the world feels safe, quiet, and slow, softly preparing for the gentle changes that will come with the turning of the year.
The warmth of summer slowly softens. The sun rises a little later. Its rays are gentler, softer, not so heavy on the earth. The air carries a hint of coolness, especially in the early mornings. The first signs of autumn appear quietly. A leaf turns pale along the edge of a tree. A berry darkens slowly. The soil holds a faint scent of ripeness and preparation. Fields are full, yet calm. Crops sway gently in the breeze. The earth beneath each step is firmer, no longer soft from spring rains.
The villagers begin to prepare for harvest. Their movements are slow, deliberate, measured. Tools are sharpened. Baskets are mended. Paths are cleared to ease the movement of carts and loads. Rivers continue to flow steadily, reflecting the soft light of the sky. Water moves quietly, gently shaping the edges of the banks. Birds call softly from the trees, their songs mellow, less hurried than in summer. Insects hum faintly, a soft rhythm that blends with the quiet village life. Children wander along familiar paths, their steps soft on the earth, hands brushing gently against grasses, leaves, or the edges of bushes. The days pass slowly, sunrise to sunset, with long stretches of soft light. Not hot, not harsh, just calm, gentle, steady warmth that eases over the village. Inside, fires burn in the mornings and evenings. Hearths provide a gentle warmth against the cooler air. Meals are prepared simply, carefully, slowly. Fresh vegetables, early fruits, grains from the fields, carefully sorted and stored. The villagers move in quiet rhythm, gathering, tending, repairing, observing. Every action gentle, every movement deliberate. The first fogs appear in the early morning, a thin, soft veil over the fields, the paths, the stream. It muffles sound. It softens the edges of everything it touches. Footsteps through the fog are faint. The river's murmur is softened. The village feels smaller, enclosed, and safe. Evenings stretch gently. Sunset colors the sky with soft golds, muted oranges, gentle pinks. Shadows lengthen slowly. Families gather near the hearth. Fires crackle softly. Hands rest. Eyes close. Bodies absorb the warmth. Breathing slows. Sleep approaches naturally, quietly. The river moves on. The wind passes through trees, moving leaves softly. Birds settle into their nests. Insects fade from sight, leaving behind a faint hum that quiets gradually. The village remains, steady, calm, continuous, unbroken. Days continue, blending slowly into each other. Summer eases into autumn. Leaves will soon turn fully. The air will grow cooler. The rhythm of the village will remain. Evening after evening, night after night, the villagers rest within this rhythm. The world outside moves slowly. The rivers, the wind, the trees, all part of the same steady, gentle flow. And within it, life continues. Quiet, gentle, soft, ready to ease into the next season, without hurry, without strain, with the same calm persistence that has carried the village through all the days before.
The days grow shorter. The sun rises later. It sinks earlier into the horizon. Its warmth is softer now. The light touches the village gently, stretching slowly across the rooftops, the fields, the paths. Leaves begin to change, not all at once, but gradually, softly, in gentle shades of gold, amber, and brown. They shift with the wind. They fall quietly to the earth, forming a soft carpet along paths and fields. The villagers move carefully through these changes. Hands gather the final crops from the fields. Baskets are filled. Carts move slowly along the softened earth. The harvest is steady, not rushed, not loud, just calm, deliberate, and complete. Rivers reflect the soft autumn light. Water moves quietly, smoothly, its sound a calm hum that fills the space around it. Birds call in quieter tones. Some prepare to leave for warmer places. Others settle into the trees,
soft and still. Insects begin to fade. Their hum grows faint. A gentle quiet spreads across the village. Children move more slowly. Their play is calm, careful. Hands brushing against leaves, the soft earth beneath, the edges of fallen fruit. Their laughter is soft, mingling with the quiet rhythm of the village. The air carries a gentle chill, especially in the mornings and evenings. It brushes softly against faces. It moves lightly through hair and clothing. Inside the homes, fires are lit more often. The hearth becomes central again. Warmth gathers family members near. Hands rest close to the glow. Bodies absorb the gentle heat. Evenings come gradually. Sunset paints the sky in muted oranges, soft golds, deepening into violet. Shadows stretch slowly over paths, fields, and rooftops. Meals are prepared with care, simple, slow, comforting. Vegetables, fruits, grains, all part of the steady rhythm of harvest and preparation. The wind moves through the trees, branches sway, leaves rustle softly, drifting down. The sound is calm, constant, gentle. The village itself is quieter now. People move deliberately. Tasks are completed calmly. Moments of pause linger longer. Night falls steadily. Stars appear softly in the clear, cool sky. The air is calm. The village settles fully into stillness. Blankets are pulled close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally. The river flows. The wind passes softly. Birds are still. Insects quieted. All merges into a calm, gentle rhythm. The village rests, unhurried, steady, continuous, soft. Days continue to blend together. Autumn deepens. The cycle moves slowly toward the quiet of winter. But the rhythm remains. The calm remains. The soft, enduring heartbeat of village life carries forward.
The leaves are mostly gone now. Trees stand bare, their branches reaching quietly toward the pale sky. The wind moves through them softly, a gentle, hollow sound brushing lightly against rooftops, fences, and walls. The air is cooler. Morning frost appears slowly, a thin, delicate layer over the fields, rooftops, and pathways. It shimmers faintly in the early light, soft and quiet. Villagers rise slowly in the mornings. The chill draws them closer to fires. Hands warm over the gentle glow of embers. The hearth feels central again, a quiet anchor for the day. Crops have been gathered. Fields lie empty now, soft soil holding the memory of summer and autumn. Paths are quieter, less traveled. The rhythm of life has slowed gently, naturally. Animals move carefully. Birds sit quietly in trees. Small creatures scurry along hedges and banks, cautious in the crisp air. Inside the homes, fires burn steadily. Meals are warm, simple, comforting. Vegetables, grains, stored fruits, small offerings of careful labor and patient attention. Villagers move with calm deliberation, repairing tools, mending clothing, preparing for the colder months ahead. Every movement gentle, unhurried. The days grow shorter. Sunrise is later. Sunset comes earlier. Shadows stretch longer across the fields and village paths. Evenings are quiet. Families gather near the fire. Hands rest close to the warmth. Eyes close occasionally. Bodies relax, absorbing the soft heat. The wind passes over the village,
rustling branches, shifting leaves, a soft, steady sound that blends into the rhythm of life. The river flows quietly. Water passes over stones, gentle and consistent. Its calm hum fills the space around it, soothing and familiar. Night falls fully. Stars appear softly in the clear sky. The air grows colder, but the warmth of the hearth is enough. The village settles, quiet, steady, unbroken. Blankets are drawn close, hands rest, eyes close, breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, slowly, gently. The rhythm of life continues. Day blends into night, one movement into the next. Summer, autumn, winter, all part of a quiet, enduring cycle. The village rests, calm, soft, timeless in its gentle flow. And in this quiet, in the long shadows of late autumn, life holds itself steady, gentle, safe, sleepy.
The first snow falls quietly, not in heavy flurries, not in loud, crashing gusts, but slowly, gently, softly. Small white flakes drift from the sky. They settle on rooftops, fields, paths, and fences. The ground becomes soft, pale, and smooth. Footsteps are muffled by the gentle layer of snow. Every sound in the village is quieter, softened, hushed. Villagers rise slowly in the mornings. The air is icy. Breath is visible as soft clouds before their faces. Hands move to gather warmth near the hearth. Inside, fires burn steadily. Embers glow softly, filling rooms with gentle heat. The hearth is central again, not just for cooking, but for life itself. Meals are warm, simple, and slow. Stews, breads, grains, comforting foods prepared carefully and eaten deliberately. Hands hold warm bowls, fingers absorb the heat. Bodies regain warmth in small, gentle increments. The fields lie quiet beneath the snow. Paths are white and soft. Trees stand bare, their branches outlined in frost or snow. The landscape is calm, muted, steady. Animals move quietly. Birds are fewer, sitting silently in trees or hidden hedges. Small creatures move carefully along the edges of the village. Everything cautious, deliberate, slow. Villagers tend to daily tasks gently, repairing tools, preparing wood, mending clothing. Every action measured, every movement slow. The rhythm of life continues, steady and unhurried. The river flows beneath a thin layer of ice in places, its movement quiet, steady, predictable. The soft sound of water beneath ice adds a calm background hum to the village. The wind passes through trees, over rooftops, carrying tiny snowflakes. Branches shift slightly, leaves long gone, leaving only gentle motion. The sound is steady, soft, soothing. Evenings arrive early now. The sun sinks gently behind distant hills. Shadows stretch long across snow-covered fields. The air is cold, but inside the homes, warmth gathers the family near the hearth. Hands rest near the fire. Eyes close sometimes, briefly, enjoying the gentle heat. Bodies settle into quiet calm. The stars appear in the clear, cold sky, their light steady, soft, familiar. The village is still, quiet, safe, steady. Blankets are pulled close, fires crackle softly, breathing slows, sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The rhythm of life continues. Day follows night, winter deepens, and yet the village moves slowly through its days. The hearth burns, paths are walked carefully, food is prepared thoughtfully. Even in the deepest cold, life persists, softly, deliberately, calmly. And as the nights lengthen, as the snow settles more fully, the village rests, steady, continuous, quiet, sleepy.
Snow now covers every surface. Rooftops, fences, paths, and fields, soft, pale, quiet. The village seems smaller, hushed, tucked under a thick, gentle blanket. The mornings are slow. Frost clings to windows. The air is sharp but still. Breath rises in soft clouds. Hands reach for warmth near the hearth or wrapped in thick cloth. Rivers are frozen in parts, moving only under sheets of ice. A soft hum can be heard where water flows more freely. The sound is calm, predictable, constant. Villagers rise and begin their tasks slowly, each movement deliberate. Shoveling snow, gathering wood, tending small animals. Nothing hurried, everything measured. The animals move cautiously. Birds are fewer, perched silently. Small creatures navigate snow-covered paths carefully. Every sound is muffled, every movement softened. Inside the homes, fires burn steadily. The glow of embers spreads gentle warmth. Families gather near the hearth. Hands rest close. Bodies absorb warmth gradually. Meals are slow and comforting. Stews simmer quietly. Bread warms gently. Grains, dried fruits, and stored vegetables nourish quietly. The taste is simple, the effect soothing. The days are short. The sun rises late and sets early. Shadows stretch long across snow-covered paths. The cold is constant, but gentle inside the village homes. Evenings are quiet. The wind passes softly through bare branches. The snow shifts gently under its touch. The river hums softly beneath thin ice. People move slowly, repairing, preparing, observing, each action steady, calm, deliberate. The rhythm of life continues without haste. Night falls fully. Stars appear in the crisp, clear sky. Their light steady, soft, familiar. The village rests, quiet, safe, calm. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The snow continues to fall lightly at times. The river flows beneath ice. The wind brushes softly over rooftops and paths. Everything is gentle. Everything is quiet. Even in the heart of winter, life persists, steady, soft, calm. The hearth, the river, the paths, the trees, all moving in gentle rhythm together. The village rests through long nights, steady, continuous, unbroken, safe, soft, sleepy.
The snow blankets the village deeply now. Rooftops are soft and white. Fields lie still under the weight of gentle frost. Paths are quiet, every step muffled. The mornings are pale and slow. The sun rises weakly through the cold, misty air. Its light is soft, gentle, touching rooftops, trees, and fences with a muted glow. Rivers move under layers of ice. Where water is free, it flows slowly, quietly, steadily. The soft hum of moving water blends with the gentle winter silence. Villagers rise slowly, hands wrapped in warm cloth, feet carefully placed on the cold, snowy earth. They move to tend animals, prepare fires, and gather necessary wood. The animals are cautious. Birds perch silently. Small creatures move softly, hidden in snow-covered edges. Every movement quiet, every sound muffled. Inside, fires burn constantly. The hearth glows warmly. Families gather close. Hands stretch toward the gentle heat. Bodies absorb warmth slowly. Meals are prepared deliberately. Simple stews, warm bread, stored grains and fruits. The aroma is soft, comforting. The act of eating is slow and careful. The days are very short. Sunrise late, sunset early. Shadows stretch long across snow-covered fields and paths. Evenings arrive gently. The wind brushes over rooftops. The trees sway softly. Snow drifts quietly along paths. The river murmurs beneath thin ice. Villagers move slowly through their tasks, repairing, preparing, gathering, observing, each action measured, each step deliberate. The rhythm of life continues, calm, steady, unhurried. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear winter sky. Their light steady, familiar. The village rests, quiet, safe, calm. Blankets are pulled close, hands rest, eyes close, breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, gently, quietly. Snow continues to fall softly at times. The river moves under ice. The wind brushes gently across rooftops and fields. Everything is soft. Everything is steady. Everything is calm. Even in the coldest days of winter, life persists. Steady, slow, soft. The village moves with its gentle rhythm. The hearth glows. Paths remain. Rivers hum. The world outside is quiet, muted, calm. The villagers rest through long nights, steady, continuous, unbroken, safe, soft, sleepy. The snow begins to melt quietly. Not suddenly, not all at once, but slowly. Soft rivulets form along paths and fields, flowing gently toward streams. The earth, damp and dark, absorbs each drop patiently. The river moves more freely. Its surface glimmers softly in the weak morning sun. Ice drifts lazily, floating downstream. The sound of flowing water is calm, soothing, steady. The air carries a faint warmth, a hint of spring hidden beneath the winter chill. Gentle breezes move through bare branches, softly brushing rooftops, fences, and the frozen earth beneath. Villagers move slowly, each action measured. Hands gather firewood, feet press carefully along thawing paths. Clothing is adjusted to catch the warmth, yet stay safe from the lingering chill. Animals notice the change. Birds call softly. Some return from distant places. Small creatures emerge cautiously, sniffing the softened earth. Inside the homes, fires burn gently. The hearth glows, comforting and steady. Families gather around the warmth. Hands rest near embers. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the gentle heat. Meals are simple, slow, comforting. Stews, warm bread, stored grains, and early herbs. The aroma blends with the quiet rhythm of life. The days grow gradually longer. Sun rises earlier. Sunset lingers a little longer. Shadows shrink slowly. The villagers move deliberately, repairing, tending, preparing, each task carried out slowly, carefully. The rhythm of the village continues, calm, steady, unhurried. Evenings arrive gently. The wind brushes softly across thawing fields. Streams hum quietly. Branches sway lightly. The snow's remnants glimmer faintly in the fading light. Night deepens slowly. Stars appear softly in the clear sky, their light calm, steady, familiar. The village rests, quiet, safe, peaceful. Blankets are pulled close, hands rest, eyes close, breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The rhythm of life continues. Snow melts, rivers flow, wind brushes, birds call softly. Everything moves slowly, steadily, gently. The village rests through long nights, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy.
The snow has fully melted now. Rivers flow steadily, clear and soft, reflecting the pale spring sunlight. Fields are damp and dark, ready to welcome new life. The earth smells gentle, fresh, slightly sweet with the promise of growth. Trees begin to bud. Tiny shoots appear along branches, soft green hints against the still bare wood. Leaves unfurl slowly, softly, gently reaching for sunlight. Birds return in quiet flocks. Their calls are soft, measured. Flying from tree to tree, over thawing streams, they settle gently into the branches. Villagers move through the fields slowly. Hands plant seeds carefully. Feet press lightly on softened earth. Each movement deliberate, gentle, mindful. Animals notice the warmth. Small creatures emerge from hiding. Birds peck carefully along the earth. The soft hum of life returns quietly. Inside the homes, fires burn softly, only when needed. Sunlight fills rooms during the day. Meals are prepared slowly, deliberately, comforting. Bread, vegetables, early greens, grains, all tended with care. The rhythm of daily life continues, morning to evening, sunlight to twilight. Each task gentle, each step deliberate. The village moves in calm, steady rhythm. The wind carries a gentle warmth, softly brushing rooftops, trees, and the damp earth. It rustles leaves that are starting to grow. It moves lightly through clothes and hair. Evenings arrive slowly. The sky glows in muted pinks and soft golds. Shadows stretch gradually across paths, rooftops, and fields. Families gather near fires or open doors. Hands rest near warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the soft heat and gentle light. Night deepens.
Stars appear quietly in the clear sky. The river flows softly. Branches sway gently. Everything calm, gentle, steady. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle. The earth waits patiently for another day. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues. Steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy.
The sun rises earlier now, and the days stretch longer. Light falls softly over fields, roofs, and quiet paths. The warmth is gentle, not harsh, filling the village with a calm glow. Flowers begin to bloom. Soft colors dot the fields and gardens, pale blues, gentle yellows, muted pinks. Their fragrance is subtle, sweet, carried lightly by the breeze. The river flows steadily. Sunlight glimmers on the gentle ripples. Water moves quietly over stones, under small bridges, past moss-covered banks. Villagers move through their day slowly. Hands plant, tend, and gather. Feet follow familiar paths, pressing lightly on soft soil. Every motion deliberate, every step gentle. Children wander through fields and gardens. Soft laughter rises and falls quietly, blending with the hum of life. Hands touch flowers, small stones, and the tips of grasses. Eyes notice the tiny details of growing life. Animals stir quietly. Birds move from tree to tree, calling softly. Small creatures peek from burrows, moving carefully along the edges of fields and paths. Inside homes, fires burn softly when needed. Sunlight warms rooms during the day. Meals are prepared slowly and carefully. Fresh vegetables, herbs, bread, all filling bowls and hearts with calm nourishment. The rhythm of life continues steadily. Morning moves to afternoon. Afternoon moves to evening. Everything in gentle, deliberate progression. The wind brushes lightly through trees, over rooftops and fences. Branches sway slowly, leaves rustling softly. The fragrance of flowers drifts along quiet paths. Evenings arrive with a soft glow. The sun sets in muted golds and pinks. Shadows stretch gradually over rooftops, paths, and fields. Families gather near fires or open doors. Hands rest close to warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the calm light and heat. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear sky. The river hums quietly. The wind moves gently. Everything is soft, calm, and steady. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle. Flowers sway lightly in the nighttime breeze. The earth holds a soft, gentle rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The fields are now full of green. Grass grows tall, moving gently with each soft breeze. The earth feels warm beneath bare hands and feet. The air is rich with the scent of growing things, subtle and sweet. Flowers bloom fully in quiet splashes of color, pale blues, soft pinks, gentle whites, muted yellows. They sway slightly in the calm wind, petals brushing lightly against one another. Rivers flow steadily, full from melting snow and spring rains. Water glimmers in sunlight, moving gently over stones and past mossy banks. The sound is soft, constant, soothing. Villagers move through their day slowly. Hands work the soil. Seeds are planted. Watering and tending are done deliberately, quietly, without hurry. Animals move freely. Birds flit through the trees and across the fields. Small creatures move cautiously, yet confidently through the soft earth, their movements gentle, deliberate. Inside homes, fires are used sparingly, only when warmth is needed. Sunlight fills rooms during the day. Meals are prepared slowly, carefully, with quiet attention. Bread, vegetables, herbs, and early fruits, soft, simple, comforting. The rhythm of life continues steadily. Morning moves to afternoon. Afternoon moves to evening, each step measured, each movement calm. The wind brushes lightly over rooftops and trees. Leaves rustle softly. Flowers sway gently in response. The scent of grass and fresh earth drifts along quiet paths. Evenings arrive gently. The sky glows in muted golds and soft pinks. Shadows stretch long and slow across the village. Families gather near fires or open doors. Hands rest close to warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the soft light and calm of the day. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear sky. Rivers hum quietly. The wind moves through leaves and flowers. Everything is calm, steady, and gentle. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Flowers sway lightly in the breeze. The earth continues its soft, gentle rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly. Soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues. Steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The sun rises warmly now. Its light spills gently over fields, rooftops, and paths. The warmth is soft, steady, filling the village with a gentle glow. Crops grow tall and steady. Wheat, barley, and vegetables reach upward, swaying gently in the summer breeze. The earth is warm, soft, and fragrant beneath hands and feet. Rivers flow freely. Water glimmers in the sunlight, moving softly over stones and past green banks. The hum of the river is steady and soothing. Villagers move through their day slowly. Hands tend the fields. Watering, weeding, planting, and harvesting are done deliberately. Feet press gently into soft soil. Every movement calm, measured, steady. Animals move freely. Birds call softly from trees. Small creatures emerge cautiously, moving along shaded edges of fields and paths. Inside the homes, fires are used only when needed. Sunlight fills rooms. Meals are prepared slowly, carefully, nourishing and comforting. Fresh bread, vegetables, fruits, grains, all tending to the gentle rhythm of life. The wind moves softly through trees and over fields. Branches sway slowly, leaves rustle gently. The scent of grass, flowers, and warm earth drifts along quiet paths. Evenings arrive gradually. The sky glows in muted golds and soft pinks. Shadows stretch long across rooftops, fields, and paths. Families gather near fires or open doors. Hands rest near warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the soft heat and gentle light of the evening. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear summer sky. The river hums quietly. The wind moves gently. Everything is calm, steady, gentle. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Flowers sway lightly in the warm evening breeze. The earth continues its soft, gentle rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues. Steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The sun rises fully now, spreading warm golden light across the village. Its rays touch the rooftops, the fields, and the paths slowly, gently. The warmth is steady, soft, comforting. Fields are full of life. Tall grasses sway in gentle breezes. Crops, heavy with promise, bend slightly under the summer sun. Rivers flow freely, glimmering in sunlight. Water moves steadily over stones and past mossy banks. Its gentle hum mixes with the rustle of leaves and the soft call of birds. Villagers rise slowly. Hands move deliberately through daily tasks, watering, harvesting, tending animals, every step measured, every motion soft, careful. Animals move freely in the warmth. Birds flit quietly from tree to tree. Small creatures peek cautiously from hedges and burrows. Every movement blends softly into the rhythm of life. Inside homes, fires are rarely needed during the warm days. Sunlight fills rooms. Meals are prepared slowly. Fresh bread, fruits, vegetables, and grains. Simple, deliberate, comforting. Hands feel warmth from the sun on the walls and floors. Bodies absorb it slowly, gently. The wind moves lightly through trees and along fields. Branches sway. Leaves rustle softly. The fragrance of summer earth and growing crops drifts along quiet paths. Evenings arrive gradually. The sky glows in muted golds and soft pinks. Shadows stretch slowly across rooftops, fields, and paths. Families gather near shaded doors or small fires. Hands rest near warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb a gentle light and quiet of evening. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear summer sky. Rivers hum gently. The wind moves lightly. Everything is calm, steady, soft. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close.
Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Flowers sway lightly in the warm evening breeze. The earth continues its soft, gentle rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues. Steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy.
The sun rises warmly, spilling golden light across fields and rooftops. Its rays stretch slowly, touching the village in soft, gentle warmth. Crops are fully grown. Tall stalks of wheat, barley, and other grains sway in the gentle summer breeze. Their movement soft, rhythmic, and calming. Rivers move steadily. Water glimmers and hums softly over stones and mossy banks. The sound blends with the rustling leaves, creating a quiet, soothing melody. Villagers move slowly, deliberately. Hands gather ripe crops. Feet press gently on the warm earth. Every task is measured, every step soft, careful, calm. Animals move quietly. Birds call softly from treetops. Small creatures navigate the edges of fields and paths cautiously. Everything blends gently into the rhythm of the village. Inside homes, fires are rarely needed in the warm days. Sunlight fills rooms. Meals are prepared slowly and carefully. Bread, grains, fruits, vegetables, all part of the steady rhythm of life. Hands move deliberately. Bodies absorb warmth and comfort gradually. The wind moves lightly through trees and over fields. Branches sway softly. Leaves rustle gently. The scent of warm earth, growing crops, and distant flowers drifts quietly through the village. Evenings arrive gently. The sky glows in muted golds and soft pinks. Shadows stretch slowly across rooftops, paths, and fields. Families gather near doors, shaded porches, or small fires. Hands rest near warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the gentle calm of evening. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear summer sky. Rivers hum quietly. The wind moves gently. Everything is calm, steady, soft. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Fields sway gently in the soft summer breeze. The earth continues its slow, steady rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The sun rises later now. Its light is soft, golden, and gentle. The warmth lingers, but the air carries a subtle crispness, hinting at the coming change. Fields are heavy with ripened crops. Wheat, barley, and vegetables bow under their abundance. The earth smells faintly of grain, of soil, and of summer slowly fading. Villagers move slowly, deliberately. Hands gather, cut, and bundle crops. Feet press gently on the softened soil. Every movement careful, every step measured. Rivers flow steadily. Water hums quietly over stones and past mossy banks. Its rhythm blends softly with the rustling of trees and the gentle murmur of the wind. Animals notice the subtle shift. Birds call softly as they move from tree to tree. Small creatures prepare quietly along hedges and fields, aware of the coming cool. Inside homes, fires glow steadily, warming the rooms in the early mornings and evenings. Sunlight fills spaces gently during the day. Meals are simple, slow, comforting. Bread, grains, vegetables, and fruits from the harvest, all prepared with care. Hands move deliberately. Bodies absorb warmth and nourishment gradually. The wind moves lightly over rooftops and through fields. Branches sway gently. Leaves rustle softly, carrying faint aromas of earth, crops, and late summer flowers. Evenings arrive gently. The sky glows in muted golds, soft pinks and pale oranges. Shadows stretch slowly across rooftops, fields, and paths. Families gather near fires or doors. Hands rest close to warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the gentle calm of evening. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear autumn sky. Rivers hum quietly. The wind moves gently through leaves and fields. Everything is calm, steady, soft. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. And the village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Fields sway gently in the evening breeze. The earth continues its soft, gentle rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The sun rises slowly now, pale and gentle. Its light drifts across fields and rooftops, soft and muted. The warmth is faint but comforting, lingering quietly. Fields are nearly bare. Crops have been gathered, stacked, and stored. The earth smells faintly of soil, hay, and the remnants of summer growth. Villagers move carefully through the day. Hands tend to harvest storage, mend tools, and prepare for cooler days. Feet press softly on the damp, dark earth. Every movement slow, deliberate, calm. Rivers flow steadily. Water hums quietly over stones and under bridges. Its steady rhythm blends with the soft rustle of remaining leaves and the quiet murmur of the wind. Animals adjust to the changing season. Birds call softly as they move from tree to tree. Small creatures scurry gently along hedges and underbrush, preparing for longer nights. Inside homes, fires glow steadily. The warmth is gentle, spreading slowly throughout the room. Meals are simple, slow, nourishing. Bread, grains, root vegetables, all prepared carefully, consumed deliberately. Hands move slowly. Bodies absorb warmth and comfort gradually. The wind moves lightly across rooftops, fields, and trees. Branches sway gently. Leaves rustle softly, carrying faint scents of earth and stored crops. Evenings arrive quietly. The sky glows in muted golds, soft oranges, and gentle pinks. Shadows stretch slowly across paths, rooftops, and fields. Families gather near fires or open doors. Hands rest near warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb the gentle calm of evening. Night deepens. Stars appear softly in the clear autumn sky. Rivers hum quietly. The wind moves gently through trees and fields. Everything is calm, steady, soft. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. And the village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Fields sway softly in the gentle breeze. The earth continues its slow, steady rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night deepens, the rhythm of the village continues, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. Late autumn settles fully over the village. The trees stand bare now, their branches stretching slowly toward the pale sky. Leaves have fallen, forming soft, rustling carpets on the paths and fields. The air is crisp, cool, and still. Rivers move quietly, flowing steadily under the gentle weight of fallen leaves. Their hum is calm, constant, soothing. Villagers move slowly through their final daily tasks of the season. Hands store the last vegetables and grains. Feet press softly on softened earth. Tools are cleaned and set aside carefully. Every movement measured, deliberate, calm. Animals adjust quietly. Birds move softly across the sky, preparing for longer nights. Small creatures scurry gently along hedges, underbrush, and the edges of fields. Inside homes, fires burn steadily, providing warmth and light. The glow spreads gently across walls, floors, and faces. Meals are simple, comforting, slow. Bread, root vegetables, stored grains, all shared quietly among family and friends. Hands rest, bodies absorb warmth, and hearts settle with calm rhythm. Evenings arrive slowly, draping the village in soft, muted shades of gold, orange, and pale pink. Shadows stretch gradually across rooftops, paths, and fields. The world seems hushed, patient, and gentle. Families gather near the hearth, near open doors, near the quiet light of evening. Hands rest close to warmth. Eyes close briefly. Bodies absorb calm, soft, comforting energy. Night deepens fully. Stars appear quietly in the clear autumn sky. Rivers hum softly. The wind moves lightly through the trees and along the bare fields. Everything is calm, steady, gentle. Blankets are drawn close. Hands rest. Eyes close. Breathing slows. Sleep comes naturally, quietly, gently. The village rests. Rivers hum. Wind brushes. Birds settle for the night. Fields sway gently in the soft night breeze. The earth continues its slow, steady rhythm. Life moves slowly, steadily, quietly, soft, calm, safe, sleepy. And as the night stretches across the village, the rhythm of life continues softly, gently, steady, continuous, unbroken, soft, sleepy. The village fades quietly into darkness. Every sound softens, every movement slows. The earth, the rivers, the trees, and the homes rest. Everything is at peace. And so the story of the village drifts quietly into sleep, softly, gently, completely calm. The night holds the village in its quiet embrace, and the world sleeps. The story ends here, softly, quietly, and completely at peace. The village sleeps, the rivers hum, the wind whispers, the earth breathes slowly. All is calm, all is safe, all is sleepy.
The night is quiet. There is no sound of engines, no distant hum of electricity. Only the soft breath of the wind as it moves gently across open fields. Somewhere far away, an owl calls once, then falls silent again. And beneath a wide, dark sky, dotted with steady stars, a small village rests. The houses are simple, low and uneven. Their walls are made of wood, clay, and straw, shaped slowly by hand. Their roofs are thick with thatch, slightly curved, holding the memory of many seasons of rain. Inside these homes, people sleep. They sleep on beds of straw and wool, wrapped in rough blankets, close to one another for warmth. The air carries the faint smell of smoke, earth, and dry grass. This is a medieval village, a place where life moves slowly, where each day begins with light and ends with darkness, where time is not counted in minutes, but in seasons, in harvests, in quiet routines repeated again and again. And as the night deepens, the village rests peacefully, waiting for morning. A pale gray light slowly begins to touch the horizon. The stars fade without hurry. The sky softens, and somewhere in the village a rooster calls. It is not loud, not sudden, just steady, familiar, a signal more than a sound. Inside one of the small homes, a man opens his eyes. He does not rush. There is no clock to check, no alarm to silence. He simply wakes because the light has changed and because his body knows it is time. The room is cold. The fire from the night before has faded into quiet ash. A faint thread of smoke still lingers in the air. Beside him, his family sleeps, slow breathing, gentle stillness. He sits up carefully, placing his feet on the hard earth floor. The ground is cool beneath his skin. For a moment, he remains still, listening. The village is beginning to wake. A door opens somewhere. Wood creaks softly. A quiet cough follows. Another rooster calls, then another. Morning is arriving, slowly and without force. The man stands and moves toward the hearth. He kneels and gently stirs the ashes. There is a small glow hidden beneath the gray dust, still alive. He adds a few dry twigs, then a bit of straw. He breathes softly, encouraging the ember. And slowly, a small flame returns. It flickers gently, casting soft shadows along the walls. The warmth begins to grow little by little. Soon, others in the home begin to wake. A child turns in their sleep, then opens their eyes. A woman stretches slowly, pulling the blanket closer for a moment before sitting up. No one speaks much. Morning is quiet here. Words are not needed yet. There is comfort in the silence. And outside, the village reveals itself in the early light. A narrow dirt path runs between the houses, its surface uneven,
marked by footsteps and cartwheels from many days before. Small gardens sit beside the homes, simple patches of green, some with onions, some with cabbage, some with herbs growing quietly in the cool air. Beyond the houses, fields stretch outward, wide and open. The land is divided into long strips, each cared for by different families. The soil is dark and slightly damp, waiting, always waiting for the next task. A woman steps outside her home carrying a wooden bucket. She moves slowly, adjusting to the morning air. It is cool, fresh. She walks toward a well near the center of the village. Others are already there. They nod to one another, soft greetings. Nothing loud, nothing hurried. The bucket lowers into the well with a quiet splash, then rises again, heavy with water. The rope creaks softly. These small sounds are part of the morning. They have always been there. Nearby, a man prepares to leave for the fields. He picks up a simple tool, worn smooth from years of use. His hands are rough, his movements steady. There is no sense of urgency. The work will take all day. It always does. There is no need to rush toward it. Children begin to gather near the edge of the path. Some are still sleepy. Others are already alert, watching everything with quiet curiosity. They do not have structured lessons or fixed schedules. They learn by observing, by listening, by slowly becoming part of the rhythm around them. And as the sun rises higher, the light becomes warmer, golden, softly touching the rooftops, the fields, the narrow paths. The village is now fully awake. Smoke rises gently from several homes, thin lines drifting upward into the still air. The smell of cooking begins to spread. Simple food, porridge, bread, sometimes a bit of cheese. Nothing complex, but enough. Always just enough. And so the day begins, not with noise, not with urgency, but with a quiet understanding that there is work to be done, that the land must be cared for, that life moves forward in small, steady steps. And as the morning continues, the rhythm settles in. Footsteps along the path, soft voices, the distant sound of tools meeting earth, all of it blending together into something calm, something constant, something that never truly changes.